Not any different than a PC.
It's on, and we are live. Happened pretty quick, didn't it?
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
is time to bring on the Breath of Fresh Air webcast on YouTube, Facebook. So you see me, Charles, got Patrick with me. What's up, Patrick? And we're gonna get right into this with the NFL starting up, and baseball. They're down their home stretch, so we'll definitely get into that a little bit later on. But we're gonna debut a game called Bite or Bark. So
Oh,
what
you're
this?
jumping right into it.
Yeah, we're gonna jump right into this, man. Let's get
Oh,
this game going. Oh
I
yeah,
thought we had a little bit of time to. Okay,
nah,
let's
nah,
bring it on
nah.
because you haven't told me the teams. I was expecting to kind of get a gist of where you were going to go with that, but okay.
Okay, well, you know what? All right, then we'll start with another topic. My bad.
No,
So because
no,
I
bring
gotta
it
I
on.
gotta pick it. I gotta pick.
No,
I
no,
gotta give you the teams. So I'll
now
give
I'm
you a team.
intrigued. You can't do this to me. I'm intrigued now.
No. All right. Well, cool. Well, all right. So here's the four teams that we were going to choose. So what we're going to do is we have two teams from the AFC, two teams from the NFC. If we feel they're going to do something this year, then that's a bite. If we feel they're just the hype train and everybody's trying to just jump in and talk about what they can do, but we don't feel they're really worth all that hype, then it's just a whole bunch of bark. So
I'm kind of nervous, man. I don't know. I don't
all
know how to
right,
do
well, dude, it's a lot of fun, man. It's a lot of
it. Okay.
fun. So we'll start in the NFC since that is where your Super Bowl champion is residing right now, down in Tampa. But we will start with this team, Patrick. How about the Minnesota Vikings? So, so the
Oh,
Minnesota Vikings, they have a lot of talent. And one of the main reasons why I picked this team to talk about in this segment is because they have had the core pieces there for a little while now. But they have not been in the NFC. So they made the NFC Championship game in 2017. That was with Case Keenum as their quarterback. Of course, now they have Kirk Cousins in charge, and Kirk Cousins we don't think is that good anyway. I know this because both of us have talked about it. Kirk
you
Cousins is
already know
not
my
that.
answer. I mean,
Yeah. But you have Kirk Cousins, you have Dalvin Cook in the backfield, very good running back, and you have two good receivers with Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. They also have a pretty solid defense. So we're not going to necessarily get into whether or not they're going to win the division or what they're going to do if they're able to get into the playoffs. We'll save that for later on in the month when we do our NFL preview. But do you think this hype that is around Minnesota, and a lot of the hype comes from people don't know what's going to happen with the Green Bay Packers, with the Aaron Rodgers thing and all that. But do you think Minnesota is biting or are they just a bunch of bark?
stay on the porch. You can't run with the big dogs. Stay on the porch. They're a bunch of barks. So they are, and it boils down. Personal opinion. It boils down to Kirk Cousins. All those weapons that he has, he doesn't know how to handle it. He is literally the type of person that brings a comb to a gun in a knife fight. He doesn't know how. He doesn't know how to use anything. So yeah, you can have two of the best wide receivers in the game within reason. You know what I'm saying? And you got a great backfield. But if you make the wrong decisions, what good is it? There's no point in saying that they have all this bite when they're really just a bunch of bark. And that's just my personal opinion on it. I just don't think Kirk Cousins knows how to handle the weapons that he will be given in Minnesota.
I am with you on that. So this is a Bart for me too. Now, when we get the graphics department in here, we're gonna go ahead and pump it on. Bing! We'll get a bark or a bite
Hey,
in there, right?
we get the Bulldogs.
Well, I'm with you, man, because yes, Minnesota does have all the talent there. But yes, Kirk Cousins has always been a major question mark to me. I just don't think he's that guy. They have not, they didn't improve themselves. That's the main thing. Ever since they made that NFC Championship game with Case Keenum, Kirk Cousins was supposedly an upgrade. They haven't been back to that point since he's been there. Another thing, though, Patrick, the coach, Mike Zimmer, I think he holds them back.
Oh, I didn't even go that far.
I think he holds them back because even if Kirk Cousins was the guy or a guy you could have lead you to a Super Bowl at some point in that journey, whether they happen to get to the NFC Championship game or the Super Bowl or whatever, Mike Zimmer is probably going to make a decision. That decision you need when you're going for it all. That decision that you have to make if you were going to win this game. I think Mike Zimmer would play it safe. And he would just mess it all up because he was way too conservative. So those are the two biggest reasons. I don't think Mike Zimmer is as good as a coach as everybody wants to give him credit for. I mean, he's okay. But again, when it gets to that point, I think he's going to hold you back more than help you. And the same with Kirk Cousins. He's not that good. Simply put, Kirk Cousins is just not that good of a quarterback. So yeah, I am with you on the bark.
Well, then we need to change the segment name. It can't be bite or bark anymore. Then it has to be tuck your tail, bite or bark.
Tuck your tail.
Right off the bat, you threw a tuck your tail right into the segment, and now we need to change the name. Now it's tuck your tail, bite or bark. It needs to be a tuck your tail. We'll keep it at bite or bark because I don't think any other team will ever be like tuck your tail and run unless you're the Jets.
Boy. Well, all right, Patrick. With that,
because you're probably your next team, I take it. But
no, with that said, since we're on agreement with Minnesota, then my next team that I had on here is the New York Giants. Now, the New York Giants, just like the Minnesota Vikings, have a lot of talent in place. They have Saquon Barkley coming back from injury for the running back. They picked up Kenny Golladay from the Detroit Lions as a free agent to add to that receiving core that has Sterling Shepard, Darius Slayton, and Evan Ingram as the tight end. A lot of weapons there. Revamped the offensive line a little bit. And then on defense, they were pretty solid, even though they were a 6-10 team. That whole NFC East was pretty trash last year. But I think the Giants, I think they could be better. We'll see. Now, of course, so that kind of gives away my answer on how I feel about them. But Daniel Jones, that's your person. Is Daniel Jones going to be the guy who can rise on up? So is this a bite or bark? Since I kind of already answered my side of the equation, I'll go ahead and say this is more of a bite here. I do think the Giants are going to make a stride. I do believe in Daniel Jones. A lot of people don't. But I think Daniel Jones can definitely be better than he has been because the weapons are in place for him. And the offensive line is a little bit more improved, so he should be able to get some more protection. Now, we all know he's been a turnover machine. A machine turning the ball over. But I see him getting better in that department, and I see him stepping up on the touchdown ratio too, with everything around him. And the defense is looking pretty good. They have a pretty stout defensive line. They made improvements in the secondary. I'm gonna say bite here. Yep, I'm pretty confident with saying bite for the New York Giants. What about you?
Okay, well, I'm not as confident as you are, but given the division that they're in, I'm not sold on any of the other teams. I mean, Washington unknowns, they
team generic, baby. Yes,
team generic might show up and do something, but I feel that as soon as they get a logo, that's a wrap for that. So I'm gonna say bye, but I'm not as confident as you are. Jones, I guess you would consider this his sophomore year.
Yeah, I mean, this is third year, so
really a season to but in a comparison, minus his very first season.
This is a step up year for Daniel Jones. Like, he has to step up, or I think they're probably moving on, honestly.
Okay. So that's what kind of throws me off with the whole, COVID thing and how everything has panned out for all the teams. Not everybody gets Tom Brady. We get that. But having to fight the certain things that he has had to go through, as he got drafted in 2019. So giving all the things that he has had to go through with lack of preparation through his team and so on and so forth. I'm still going to say bite because I like the Giants better in this division than most. And there's your preview to our NFL preview, who I'm fixing to probably go for in the NFC East. But like I said, even with my pick being the Giants, I still do not have as much confidence of being a bite. But the weapons are there, and if Jones can pull that together and make those things work, I feel he does have the talent. He's not Kirk Cousins, so therefore I feel he is a lot more of a step up than Kirk Cousins. So I would have to lean more towards a bite for this team.
All right, man. Well, so we're both agreeing there's a bite. You're just not as confident as I am about it. Right. But
if he does do what you say he can, which I do think he can, but if he does that, look out. Giants are going to be good. Yep. But it all depends on Jones. And if Jones, which we both know he was a turnover machine, what did he throw? He threw more interceptions last year than touchdowns.
It's the fumbles too. Like, he fumbled a lot,
and he fumbled tons. So if he can take care of the ball and deliver the ball, Giants will be good.
All right, man. Well, let's move on to the next team here. So going into the AFC. What do you think about the Miami Dolphins? The thing with these teams, or the thing that we have with these teams, these are teams who didn't make the playoffs, or they might have been on the cusp of making the playoffs. So, of course, Giants didn't, the Vikings didn't, the Dolphins, they came close. They were 10-6. But they got blowed out at Buffalo by the Bills in the last game of the regular season, and then they lost all the tiebreakers, so they were the odd team out. But you have Tua Tagovailoa coming in for his second season, second season, and then you have some weapons. You drafted Waddle. There we go, Jalen Waddle. You drafted Jalen Waddle from Alabama to kind of help with the weapons there. I think Will Fuller is there too. We know he can't stay healthy, but when he's out there, he's a threat. They upgraded the offensive line. They have, Miami had a lot of draft picks as it was, so they were able to add some depth to the team, and they have a pretty solid defense as well. The AFC is tough, Patrick. The AFC has a lot of tough teams in there. So do you see Miami being, are they biting? Are they taking a chunk? Or are they still just barking it up? Or in this case, just kind of swimming before they come up for air?
It's got to be bite or bark, man.
I'm sorry, my bad. I was just sitting there, I was looking at the Dolphins, and hey, man.
Look.
We gotta throw the Dolphin reference in there. I mean,
yeah, you got to, man. So I'm gonna go with bark. Okay. And this is the reason why. Yes, they picked up a lot of necessities in their draft. Tua coming in. I mean, I watched this kid for 4 years play, especially being in the conference that I was in 3 years. And even though he's a good quarterback, he is going to do great things in Miami. But he's going in a division that is just too much. You got New England, who's going to come back stronger than they were last year, and you got Buffalo. And those two right there are going to make it almost impossible to win that division. So I'm going to say Bart. Not any discredit to any of the coaching, because I do feel that coaching staff is really good. I do feel Tua is good. I do feel a lot of the pickups that they got were great, but I'm not sold on Tua yet. So I'm going with Bark.
Yeah, I'm with you on that too. Yes, I think this is a Bark too, and a lot of it is just because it's not just the division, but the conference as a whole. It is just tough. I mean, because you mentioned New England and Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cleveland, and Tennessee, Kansas City, and then any of those other teams in the West. They may or may not be able to rise up, but I mean, they're right there kind of teetering too. It's just really, really tough. And I think with Miami as well, yeah, Tua, I'm with you on that. Here's the question I have also, and this goes to the coach, Brian Flores, because on 2 occasions last year, first of all, you put Tua in after Ryan Fitzpatrick, who's of course with Team Generic now, was playing well. You decided to bench them. Now, I tend to think that was more of an organizational move more than a Brian Flores move, because I mean they had your new draft pick and you're trying to sell seats, you're trying to sell tickets, so you put in the new draft choice. We get it, part of the business, right? But 2 occasions, Tua was in there, he was struggling, and he pulled him. Brian Flores pulled him out of the game and put Ryan Fitzpatrick in or back in. So now, if Fitzpatrick gone, are you going to do this same thing? Are you, if Tua is struggling, are you going to pull him again? Because me personally, if you do that, I think, and we said this last year, I think you are stunting the man's growth. You cannot expect Tua to get better when he's having to look over his shoulder every time he might throw a pick or take a sack or fumble the ball. Oh man, he's messing up. We got to pull him. You're stunting your quarterback's growth that way. So it's going to be interesting to see if and when Tua has those tough moments, because it's going to happen. It's the NFL. He's going to have some bad games. Does Brian Flores stay with them? If not, and you continue to pull him, then you might as well move on from him, because you're obviously showing you don't have confidence in the guy. Obviously. You put him twice last year. And so, I mean, I just don't. I think that's pretty bad. Oh my goodness, Patrick. Jonathan Morgan is back. That was do you remember? He's a coach. He's the Oklahoma fan. Remember, he disappeared when Kansas City lost the Super Bowl? Don't think I forgot, Jonathan. Do not think I forgot. Oh, yes. But it's good to have you back, man. I'm so glad to have you back, man. Very, very nice.
Dude, you did. You said it. You were not going to miss the opportunity to stir the pot as soon as you saw him.
Yes. My goodness. Welcome back,
Jonathan.
Yeah, he calls me Chuckles. I love it. Oh man, it's good to have you back, man. We missed you, bud. We missed.
Yeah, we did. We missed the comments, man. So we appreciate you being back.
And you know what? You're a basketball coach too, Jonathan. Where were you at during basketball season? I want answers. Leave them on the comments. So we missed you too, man. But you're gonna answer that question about the basketball. You missing out on basketball, but but
you're either gonna answer it or you're gonna disappear again. So. Sorry, bro, I can't help you out.
But you know what? His first comment was about the coach getting fired. That is true about Brian Flores. So this is his 3rd season. I tend to think. I like it. Me too, Jonathan. I was cheering against the Lakers, and that's too. But but I do think this is a interesting time for Brian Flores, and you're kind of tied to a success, and that's kind of the way it is with a lot of these teams now. The coach you have is tied to the quarterback you draft or you inherit. So if Tua does not do good, that could be an indictment on Brian Flores. Although I'm not really in that camp. but this is an important year for him because he has made those adjustments, or not adjustments, improvements. The first year, pretty tough year for the Dolphins. The next year, he's 10-6. So now you got to see what type of step you can take. I think because of his second year, Patrick, that success he had, even though they didn't make the playoffs, I tend to think he will get about a couple years. And then he can get, if things don't happen for good the next season, then he could be on the hot seat. But I think Brian Flores is safe. But to answer the question, Bark, yes.
Well, and on top of that, and I just got to make this really quick because I know we got to move to the next team. But let's say Tua does get in trouble. You got Jacoby Brissett coming out off the bench. I would opt to leave Tua in. That's just me.
You have to.
And that's not because he's my starting quarterback. It's because, truthfully, I don't want to put the hands in Jacoby Brissett's hands. I can't put the ball in his hands. I can't. So, Ryan Fitzpatrick, that's one story. Jacoby Brissett, that's a totally different story. I'm not putting the ball in that man's hands. I'm sorry. I just can't. So, Tua, I know you threw 7 picks and 1 touchdown. I'm going to need you to do better. So, here's the football. Go do better. And that's that.
All right, man. Oh, and on Jonathan's comments there, yep, we were with you on that, man. We were all about, well, okay, take that back. Patrick had the Suns winning. I had the Bucks winning. But but definitely, absolutely respect for the Bucks to be able to do that. Tua's contract situation. So this is his second year. This is second year. So I think
his rookie contract runs out next year, which
it'll run out next year.
For negotiation after next year, because this is his only second year.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So, well, all right, man. Here's our next team, man. The LA Chargers. So the LA Chargers are getting a lot of hype here. Now, I know Jonathan, he's going to say no to this because he is a Kansas City fan, of course. That's why he disappeared when they lost the Super Bowl. Don't think I forgot that either. But the LA Chargers always have talent. We know this, that they always have a good roster on paper, but they can never put it together on the field. So you have Justin Herbert coming into his second year. He's getting a lot of hype. And then they have a new coach. I think his name is Brandon Staley. No, my team did not make it to the Super Bowl, Jonathan, but that's okay. The only one who could talk best is Tampa Bay because we all lost in that case. But I
got nothing to say. I'm a Falcons fan.
Yeah.
I probably won't have nothing to say this year either. So
he says, okay, then. Well, but the Chargers, you got Justin Herbert coming into his second season, and then you have a new coach, Brandon Staley. So he was the defensive coordinator of the LA Rams last year. Of course, the Rams have the number 1 defense, but we'll see how he is as a head coach instead of just the coordinator. And then you have weapons. You have Keenan Allen still there. And the defense, we'll see if Joey Bosa can come back and be healthy. And when he's in there, he wrecks the game. The safety, Derwin James, I don't think he's played since he's been in the league because he's always hurt. But if he can stay healthy, he's a playmaking safety. So this one is pretty interesting to me. What say you? Bite or bark?
Oh, so I get to go first on this one too? Dang, okay. This one is interesting. A lot of weapons on offense. I'm probably going to say I hadn't really thought about this team. This one's throwing me off a little bit.
Gotta be prepared, Patrick.
God.
Okay, that's my fault.
Well, they're in the West, and this is what throws me off because Kansas City. We all know Kansas City is probably going to win that.
Yeah,
but they're better than Denver and the Raiders. So I'm going to say bite. I'm going to say bite because there is a lot of hype that's surrounding Herbert at this point. or Hibbert, whatever his name is.
Justin Herbert.
There is a lot of hype around him, but rightfully so. Last year he threw 31 touchdowns and I think like 9 interceptions, which tied him in the middle. So I don't think they're going to win the division. I think that is for Kansas City. Honestly, I think that's for Kansas City to lose. They're not going to win. It's theirs to lose. But I am going to say bite because I do feel that this team, with the amount of weapons that they have, they can do something with making some noise in the AFC. So they might make a wild card. I would expect that. So I will give them a bite.
I'm going bark. That's a rough for me. Oh, yeah, because I have to see more from Justin Herbert. Okay, he had a good rookie year. The Chargers were still 7-9 last year. So I need to see more than one good season. Now you have teams who have film on you. You have teams who can sit there and develop better game plans. You're not sneaking up on them anymore. So I have to see how he adjusts to that. I have to see more from him. And I know you said they're better than the Raiders or Broncos, but man, Patrick, I don't know. I mean, because the Raiders are their defense needs to improve. Absolutely. The Raiders defense needs to improve.
A lot.
And Denver,
you can go up 32 points, but if the other team throws up 34, that 32 doesn't mean, and trust me, Jonathan.
I know you're a Falcon fan. I got you.
Jonathan just told me my team is in the trash, and believe me, I know.
And
because
Denver
defense sucks.
And Denver, though, and Denver, they have a good defense and they have weapons on offense. Their quarterback situation is messed up. We don't know what we're going to get from Drew Lock. They brought Teddy Bridgewater in there. We don't know what's going to happen. But if they can get some good quarterback play, Denver could be something to mess with, I think, too. So that's why I asked the question, oh, man, I don't know if the Chargers are necessarily better than them. I just feel like, man, I need to see more from Justin Herbert and Jonathan. All right. So number one, on that comment that you just read or that you just wrote about the QB situation. Yeah, the Chargers have a better QB, but do they have the better team? We all know. Just because you have a good quarterback, that does not make you a great team. We all know this. So,
but if Denver has a problem at QB, and who's the quarterback for the Raiders now? Is it still Carr?
It's still Derek Carr, and I like Derek Carr.
I mean, I like Derek Carr too, but he's not winning games
because the defense is not that good, and that's what I'm saying. The teams win Super Bowls. Teams. Defense. Even when Kansas City won the Super Bowl, since Jonathan is over here talking about this, since they won the Super Bowl. But
Carl, defense wins Super Bowls, offense wins offense.
They sell tickets.
Right now, if you don't have a quarterback, you're not selling tickets. That means you're not going to win. And if you got a bad defense, you're not going to win that either.
But even with Kansas City, when they won the Super Bowl, when they beat us, my team, they beat the 49ers. When they beat them, the defense had to step up a little bit for them to win that Super Bowl.
But that's not a lot of bit.
Huh?
That's not a lot of bit. They got to step up 40 times more than what they did against San Francisco in that game.
No, but it's a combination. Look, here's the thing, Patrick. If you have a big strength on your team, whether that is your offense or your defense, the other side of the ball, they just have to sit there and complement that. And so if you have, like with Kansas City, so look, here's the thing. No, hold on. So with Kansas City, if Kansas City has a middle of the pack defense to go with that offense, that's probably going to be good enough. And just like all those years with Baltimore was able to be a perennial Super Bowl threat because we know they had the defense, but that offense, when Joe Flacco, remember that time because it just crushed your whole, it just crushed your whole philosophy at that point. But when Joe Flacco stepped up, that was what they needed to be a perennial or not a perennial, a Super Bowl winner. So, I mean, I think with Look, as a matter of fact, Jonathan, since you want to sit here and try to point out some stuff, what did your boy Patrick Mahomes do? Tell me what he did in the offseason. Didn't he hand back money so the team could go and get a better offensive line because they were getting smashed in Tampa Bay? So even he knows they need a team.
But you just said with that offense, you can have a mid-grade defense.
Yeah. But it's got to complement
defense, Charles. They have,
but it has to complement what you are doing. That's
and they can't.
They can't. Who can? Who can't?
The Raiders.
Well, maybe not. But if they do, then they can come on. I know what you're saying, Patrick. Look, the Raiders do need to get better defensively. Absolutely. Like that's not. They're terrible defensively. Yes, I know that. But I wasn't debating that. I wasn't debating that at all.
30th.
I know, Patrick. I was not debating the Raiders being bad defensively. I was not debating that. What I was saying is
that it was a team effort, and that is not a team.
If you're going to win the Super Bowl, yes, and I know the Raiders need a lot of help on that side of the ball, but if they can improve there, that makes them very dangerous. That's all I was saying. That's it.
And I agree with that.
That's all I was saying.
But they haven't upgraded that defense. As a matter of fact, I think they got rid of they let a corner go, which downgraded their defense.
Yeah, they're pretty much the same from what I have seen. So, but even with that, Patrick, they were 8-8. And they had a better record than the Chargers.
All the time.
So
you know that the Chargers will be better this year. I look.
I can see 9-8. I can see 9-8 in the future and missing the playoffs. That's why I'm going Bart.
And that will get them. That will get them second place in their division.
Bark. So
I mean, don't get me wrong. I respect your bark. I do. I'm just saying, in that division, bad QB play in Denver is going to cost them games, more games than they're going to win. Bad defense in with Raiders
in Vegas,
is going to cause them to lose games. I think Chargers have enough to win second place in that division. Now, we all know the AFC is running through Kansas City right now.
So the second place, all right, answer me this, Patrick. The second place, get them in the playoffs? Does it get them in the playoffs?
Well, they have a good chance to make a wild card, and I'll leave it at that.
All right. Well,
does it get them in the playoffs? Maybe, maybe not. But I will tell you this: it does not get them the division.
And all right, next topic, Patrick. Nice debate there. I like it. But so we have let's talk about Russell Wilson for a second, because Russell Wilson is over here talking about wanting to get the offensive tackle Dwayne Brown in. Now, this honestly,
why are we on him again?
Well, because we could put him back in the STFU club again, and of course, you know, like it says. So, but here's the thing. So we have him talking about the offensive tackle Dwayne Brown. Talking about he's in a contract battle, wanting to get a new contract. Now, this is funny hearing Russell Wilson say this because, well, this was part of the same offensive line. He went on the Dan Patrick show bashing, and so I did not understand that, man. To me, this is looking pretty, what's the word? Toxic. There we go. That's the word I'm looking for. Pretty toxic for Seattle. I see them really taking a step back this year because you got your quarterback who's basically alienating everybody, yet he's not stepping up and taking them to the promised land like he's getting paid to do. So I don't know. I'm just saying. So STFU club for Russell Wilson?
Absolutely. Second nomination. God, This guy is starting to be. You remember all the jokes we made about Andrew Bottom?
Yes.
All right. Here's your Andrew Bottom of the NFL. He is starting to get to this point where it's just like whine, whine, whine. He wants all of this stuff, but he doesn't want it. Like we talked last week. What are you willing to give to gain? Russell Wilson is not willing to give anything, but he wants to gain everything. Yes, absolutely. Second nomination. I cannot stand him right now. He is driving me crazy.
And it's really bad. It's really bad because even with me being a 49er fan, I've always up until all this stuff happened, I've always kind of liked Russell Wilson. I like this game. I like how he comes out there, he competes, he does his thing. Right now, he's just sounding like a real, just a baby, like a diva quarterback right now. That's how he sounds. Like a guy, he's over here, he talks about the offensive line, talking about he's tired of getting hit, and now you're basically campaigning to get one of these offensive linemen in. You were bad mouthing. Man, that's hypocritical. That's talking out of opposite ends of your mouth. I mean, that's just bad. And if this is coming from your quarterback, you're like, how if you're an offensive lineman, I mean, I guess you're gonna do it because you try and get paid and make sure that you do your job. But do you really want to block for Russell Wilson at this point? You know, I mean, it's just like, you know what, man, this dude just talked mess about us. I mean, like, what is he doing to make it better? Because Russell Wilson, as we know, he's a scrambling quarterback. He's a guy who will get out the pocket trying to make the big play all the time. And then when he takes sacks, talking about, he tired of getting hit, some of that is on him. Yeah, because, like, I think you and I would admit, okay, hey, the offensive line, it might not have been the best. I get it. But that's not all on the offensive line.
That's not exactly. And then you're looking at Russell Wilson, and he's expecting a 3 to 4 second pocket. You can't give a man a 5-second pocket. There's just too much talent on the defensive line. And then you got linebackers, you got free safety blitz, you got corner blitzes. I mean, at what point does Russell Wilson say, you know what? Give me 2.5 seconds, I'll extend the play, and I'll get that ball out of my hand? No. This is how he thinks. You give me 5 seconds in the pocket. I'm going to dance around like a little ballerina, and then I'm going to scramble out to my right, scramble out to my left, which he's always strong to his right. So he always tries to scramble to his right, but what does the defense do? They attack in on the right side, forcing, and then he's always throwing off balance. And then you wonder why. Well, what are you expecting, dude? You're expecting magic to happen with a 5-second pocket, bro. It doesn't happen. Not in this league, not today. This game moves way too fast. 2.5 seconds. I mean, pull up this stuff from Tom Brady. How long did it take him to get rid of that ball in the Super Bowl? Average 2 seconds.
Yeah.
He was throwing the ball. It was less than 2 seconds. So Russell Wilson wants a 5-second pocket and then scramble? No, absolutely not. I'll give you a 2-second pocket and then you extend the play. Other than that, he shouldn't be downgrading any of his linemen. The linemen are doing exactly what they wanted, what they need to do, and they're giving him a pocket to throw from. He just decides not to throw it. That's on him.
All right, man. So, second nomination for Russell Wilson in the STFU club. You give him 2 for the same one?
I'll give him 2 for the price of 1.
All right. Well, here's another situation for you, and this is for your rival team, your much hated team, the New Orleans Saints. Now, this one is pretty interesting. Oh, yeah, you know what, Patrick? Yes, you're getting all the hateful topics today. Yes, you are. And so
I like you today. You're not even talking baseball.
Man, well, hey, that's what I do. I spice it up. No, but well, look. So here's the thing: you have the receiver, Michael Thomas. We know he got a big deal coming into last season. He didn't play a lot last season, and now, I guess at the end of the season, the doctors or the coaching staff or the medical staff for the Saints wanted him to get surgery on the ankle. Now, this is the stories that's out here. Want him to get surgery on the ankle. Michael Thomas said, no, I think we'll be okay if we just do rehab. Well, it didn't get better. And now he decided to have the surgery, I mean, literally like 2 weeks ago or last month or whatever it was. So now he's going to miss some games in the regular season recovering from this ankle surgery. Mm-hmm. So, look, to me, Patrick, what it's looking like, and I don't know, because you never know what can happen with these talks. If the player had a disagreement with the coaching staff or the medical staff, you never know. But what this looks like to me on the outside is this is a guy in Michael Thomas who got paid, and he's not really doing the things he has to do to make sure that he's in shape. That's how it looks right now. I don't know, like, unless something else comes out, then all right, I'll be all too happy to come on here and say, all right, man, I didn't know all the details, my bad. But just looking at it on the outside, from the outside, on the exterior, it looks like a guy, hey, he got paid, he got the monies. I'm good. That's how it looks right now. And I hope I'm wrong about that. Not because I'm a Saints fan or anything else, but look, dude, if you get that bag, dude, dedicate yourself. Continue to play. Do your thing. Show why you got this bag instead of just getting the bag and just being content.
So what's your question? Normally you have a question.
You know what? I don't, man. I guess I just want you to get, I don't have a question. I think I just went on a rant. Dang, I pulled a you.
Yes, I just let me rant a little bit with you. Okay. I agree. I mean, I was looking at this. I was looking at the whole situation. God, probably late last week when everything was starting to go down and he was looking at having the surgery. And to me, I kind of felt that he was, and like I said, like you said, if we are wrong, breath of fresh air will come in here and let you know. But they're not giving us anything to go on, so we have to make our own conclusion or our own hypothesis, so to speak. And when I saw
write our thesis statement.
Yeah, this is our thesis right here. Okay. And what I saw was the same thing you see. He prolonged the surgery for months, and then all of a sudden, oh yeah, maybe I should get it so that he can miss. He just got paid, and it was a lot of guaranteed money. So yeah, he just got paid. Seems like he cashed in this, and now he doesn't have to play. He got paid. And I'll see you fourth quarter of the season. Last 4 games, because chances are that's probably what he's going to miss. He's going to miss 12, somewhere probably between 10 and 13 games, from the surgery. So if he's missing that many games, he got paid. And maybe he doesn't want to play with Winston. I don't know. But I can tell you, I agree with you. If you got paid, this is your moment to shine. Don't Ben Roethlisberger this up and get fat and think that you are the most athletic person in the world. It doesn't work that way, especially at the wide receiver position. You got to run. So stay in shape. You just got paid millions of dollars to do that. Stay in shape, do your job, and cash the check.
It's just being professional. But really, like, it looks really unprofessional right now from Michael Thomas. And I don't, again, like you said, we don't know what all is going into this, if there was just a big disagreement, if there was a misdiagnosis on his ankle. But it could be also what you said about that quarterback situation. I know this, whether you're going to go with Jameis Winston or Taysom Hill, whoever Sean Payton picks, it would help to have one of the best receivers in the league. Well, according to after or before he got paid, it would help to have one of the best receivers in the league.
Before he cashed the check.
Right. To help out with that transition process of moving on from an all-time great quarterback in Drew Brees. And I mean, you have Alvin Kamara as the running back. Man, Michael Thomas is not there. Alvin Kamara is going to see a lot of 8-man fronts. He's going to see a lot of bodies out there in front of them. So it doesn't look good for New Orleans at all. And I think unless some things change, you get a good Jameis Winston or whoever, or Taysom Hill coming in there, the Saints I think they're on their way down, man. And I know that's probably one of the obvious things you could say, seeing how you have all-time great retiring, but they just took hits on the roster altogether. They lost a lot of defensive linemen. They lost corners. One retired today. Think of Patrick Robinson. I think he retired today. And they cut Janoris Jenkins. And I don't know what's the deal with Marshawn Lattimore, because he had that case. So I don't know if that's
still up. It's still up in the air. Nobody knows.
So nobody knows. So the Saints right now have a lot of turmoil going on with that team, and this Michael Thomas case is not helping anything, man. So
it also doesn't help that Traquan Smith is questionable.
Yeah,
and he's questionable for the season. I don't even think that they even got fully what's going on with him. So he's questionable for the season. So who knows?
Mess, man. Well, all right, man. We have. I'm sitting here. I'm looking, and I had so much stuff that we were looking at. So I was looking at this list real quick. Tom Brady. Tom Brady got booed. This was funny to me. This is just some comic relief here for me. So they had the Hall of Fame ceremonies this past weekend. Peyton Manning was one of the inductees, and Tom Brady was one of his guests. So he brought up Tom Brady's name, talking about, I guess, when Tom Brady is going to retire, when he'll finally be eligible, which he said would be the year 2035, because Tom Brady's going to play till he's like 55. But as soon as he brought up his name, that crowd in Canton, Ohio, let him have it. I was rolling. Now I'm laughing because, well, obviously because they're just booing Tom Brady, but I'm also laughing because it's like, dang, I guess that's the life of a 7-time Super Bowl winner. You get people who just hate on you like this, man. I just thought that was so hilarious. I just wanted to throw that in there for some comic relief, man, because we've been talking about all this other stuff, so it was funny.
I can tell you, if I was Tom Brady and they started booing me, boo me in 20 years when I'm actually going into. So there'll be 2 times you boo me today. And 15 years from now.
You think he's gonna have 10 rings?
one for each finger. Yeah, you boo me tonight. And then you boo me in 15 years.
Oh my goodness.
And then I'll sit down just like this and be like, all the way to the bank. I'm good.
Oh man, when I saw that, I was dying laughing, man. It was so bad that they stopped Peyton Manning from talking. As soon as he said Tom Brady, it was a cascade of boos. I mean, raining down. I think part of it was of course, with it being Tom Brady, people just kind of hating on him. I think another part of it was a lot of the fan bases that was in there. You had a lot of Steelers fans in there, because there was, I know at least 2 Steelers going in, or, Bill Cowher went in, and so did Troy Polamalu. And then you had, you got some Ravens fans in there and stuff. I mean, it's just a mix of people who just probably hate Tom Brady from his days with the Patriots. So I think it's a little bit of both, man. But yeah, Tom Brady just kind of turned around and just looked back like, what did I do? Like you said, if I was Tom Brady, I would have been like, what? Yeah, like you said, what? He's so stupid.
That's what I would be. And this is the reason why I say it. Look, math never lies. 3 + 4 = Super Bowl. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Patrick, on that note, let's get to the last topic we had. So this one's about Kevin Durant. Not what you think. He didn't create any burner accounts. He didn't go ahead trying to crack back on all the haters or anything like that. But let's say, what's going on, baseball legend? Good to see you on there. All right, let me see. Hold on. Jonathan has one more question before we get to that. All right, so he says, what do you guys think about OU? Hey, so we talked about that last week. Maybe if you would have tuned in, Jonathan, you would have seen what we response. I'm gonna ask
I like it.
I'm gonna go ahead and
I
ask
like
you to subscribe to the channel. Honestly, I think our day's going good, baseball legend. How you doing? And so your question, Jonathan. Yeah, I'm with Patrick too. I like it. I think we, as in the Longhorns, I started thinking about this after. So I started thinking about this after we talked about it, and I do think by the year, if we are going in by the year 2025, I think we'll be ready to compete there. If we were going in next year, we're getting smashed. But
they're going in 2 years. I think Texas and Oklahoma both buy out their contract and get out because there's so much more money to be made.
I see that too. I don't see that last until 2025. I think they will go ahead and just eat it up and just do their thing. Again, look, here's the thing also, Jonathan. Don't think I didn't see that Shorthorns comment that you left on there. It's all right. Y'all be getting blasted by the SEC teams too. Don't think I forgot about all them times when you're one and done in the playoffs. So it's not like y'all doing great. So y'all been running the Big 12. I'll give you that.
I want to answer Baseball Legends' question first. So when you're done, I'll answer his COVID-19 test. It gets me to rant.
Oh boy. All right, man. Well, we'll talk about Kevin Durant real quick. And really, it's just really a short question here, because people want to say the narrative has changed. Yeah, currently. We'll see when the season begins, Jonathan. But when it
comes about to be non-existent, so it ain't gonna matter. You're fixing to come into the best conference known to man. I'm just saying.
So real quick with Kevin Durant, is this one of those things, because he was able to lead the team to a gold medal, and a lot of people were very critical of this team. There's a lot of people who didn't think they would even medal, especially after the losses they had caught. So a lot of people want to say this is a narrative that is changing on Kevin Durant. Now, before I get your comments on this, Patrick, I'm just going to say I do not. Look, it's Team USA. They are expected to win the gold medal. Kevin Durant did what he's supposed to do. If he's one of the best players in the world, then that's what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to lead that team, regardless if you have a whole bunch of NBA stars on the team or NBA players on the team. You're supposed to lead them. You're the best player in the league. So really, I'm just looking to see what he does with the Brooklyn Nets. If he's able to lead that team, I know they kind of got three, big three, whatever you want to call them now. But no narrative has changed for me on Kevin Durant. He did what he was supposed to do, in my eyes. What do you think?
Okay. Yes. When you look at the overall level of play, yes, the USA is supposed to be known for bringing home the gold. All right. With that being said, I understand that Kevin Durant is, quote unquote, one of the best players in the NBA, and I agree with you. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. But the reason why USA catches losses is because they have professional athletes playing in other countries that happen to play here, that happen to play against Kevin Durant, who happens to play against Kyle Lowry and whoever else is on the USA team that any given year. So even though the USA is expected to win gold, do not count the other countries out, because they do have players playing in the United States at that high level. So I say, yes, I agree. They are meant to win the gold, but don't count out the other countries just because USA is the greatest team. It's not that easy anymore. They do have other players that play in the NBA for other countries.
Yeah, and it's not me counting out the other countries, Patrick. I'm just looking at it from the standpoint of this is Team USA. They are expected, just straight up. Just these are the expectations.
I'm
They're
not saying
supposed to
that
win the gold
meaning
medal.
towards you. I'm saying that meaning towards the critics who have this narrative against KD for whatever reason. And you have to look. Yes, KD did what he's supposed to do, but don't count out the other countries just because KD is who he is. Understand that these other people that played in Spain, that played in Japan, that plays in all these other countries, they're playing against KD every single year. They know how he plays. So even though he's the best, don't count out the other countries just because he's KD. That's all I'm saying.
All right, yeah, gotcha. Yes, yeah, we saw Jonathan. Yep, France was pretty good. Spain. I mean, there's a lot of good countries, and they have NBA players on them too, like you said. So, yeah, it is the other countries are catching up. I still say, yeah, of course, there's a gap in between, but there's some talent in these other countries too, man. So it's not like how it was with the Dream Team back in 92 and they were blowing everybody out by 40, 50 points. So
yeah, it's not like that anymore. It's a lot more competitive, and you know the refs, even the refs from other countries, understand the game a lot more than they used to. So yes, the gap is still really big, but it is shrinking because of that talent in other countries.
All right, Patrick, before we get out, you answer Baseball Legends question?
Yes. I am a huge non-believer of the vaccine. Oh, and by the way, let me just state this before I get started. On this channel, it's not random questions. Me and Charles are always open to answer any question and every question that's out there. It doesn't matter what it's about. That's what this platform is about. So understand that when you do ask a question, we are not going to shy away from the question. We will answer it. So in future reference, if you have a question, ask it because we are all open. But to answer your question, I'm not.
And Patrick, we gotta be a little quick with it. So.
Okay, it won't take long. To answer your question, I'm not a fan of it. I don't believe that there is any variant that the shot will cure, and it's been made proven because we have COVID, then we have a vaccination, then we have strand D. That, go figure, the vaccine does not kill. So with that being said, one, it's not past FDA approval. So therefore, you're still in an experimental drug, which is actually against the law in the United States. So with that being said, I don't know what's in it. Hasn't passed FDA. Therefore, I will not take it. I don't care who knocks on my door. It will not enter my body until it's approved and I can see what's inside it.
Yeah, yeah, I would like to see more on it. Now, look, I have told, as I've told Patrick many times, and I'll go ahead and share that since the question was for both of us, I guess. I got shot up. I felt like a pincushion last year because I had to go deploy. So for me, I just want to see a little bit more in terms of the effectiveness of it. I know, look, everybody, I will say this too. Everybody has their right to make whatever decision they want to make about the vaccine. Absolutely. So if you are on the side of taking the vaccine, that's good on you. If you're on the side, if you're on the side of not getting the vaccine, that's good on you too.
And I respect you for that as well.
So it just depends on what side of the equation you are on. And I can only speak for myself. I just want to see more in terms of the effectiveness of it. And yeah, I mean, it's one of those things when you think about the vaccine, when you think about the process of vaccines, and this is without me being any type of a scientist or anybody who goes and researches the effectiveness of it. This process takes years because when you do test it, you have to monitor the short-term effects and the long-term effects of a vaccine before it gets rolled out for the public to access. We all know this is, without getting too political about this, this was a vaccine that was rolled out pretty damn quickly. So there's still a lot of questions here when it comes to COVID, when it comes to the vaccinations, when it comes to everything, because you have all these different variants that are coming out, and it seems like everybody, not just me, not just Patrick, not everybody, CDC, all these people, they're still kind of trying to figure this out, and they're making adjustments as they go. So if the CDC or the FDA, if they're not really sure, I don't know how anybody else can expect anybody to be sure about what is going on here. So that's my long way of saying I'm on the fence about it, me personally. I mean, but whatever side you are on, good, because I feel like we are all adults here. And yeah, Jonathan, you said it right. Yeah, you just say do the research and make the decision that's best. Exactly. And that's where I'm at with it as well. If you were one of the people who got it, good on you. And if you're not, then I can understand why you would be a little iffy about it.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at with the vaccines.
And just to make that perfectly clear from both mine and Charles's standpoint, this is not a decision that is made because I don't trust the government, and I can tell you I don't trust them 100%. I don't trust them. I don't care who's in office. That's not just the Biden administration or the Trump administration or whoever. I don't trust them because I want my right to choose, and I feel that everybody should have that right to choose, whether it be putting masks on in schools or putting vaccinations in your body. I feel you have the right to choose. And if you don't get that right to choose, then that is against what we known as Americans. But again, with that being said, just let you know, I respect both sides. I have no problem with a person that says I got vaccinated. Oh, well, that's good. Just don't belittle me because I didn't. Because I'm not going to belittle you because you did. That's all I say. Give me the same respect I give you. And that's that.
And so before we get out, Patrick, so Jonathan, he left on the comments here, man, because he said he tested positive for it too. Get better soon, Jonathan. And
yeah, man, definitely.
And hey, dude, you came in here and you checked us out. You're in the hospital right now, dude. That's much respect, man. So you know what? All the stuff that I said earlier, dude, because you didn't have to show up today. So I mean,
you didn't have anything else better to do.
Right. And so nah, get better. Get better soon, man. And I appreciate you. Patrick does too. We appreciate you getting in here, chopping it up with us, throwing all the comments out there to us to interact with us. Really appreciate it, man. And get better soon. So with that,
baseball lesson, I hope that answered your question, man. So
yes, I definitely know why you was MIA now, man. At least for a little bit, for sure. So I still, did that cover all 6 months though, Jonathan? That's the question I had. I got to do it. I had to do it.
Charles, he got that COVID 20,000.
I had to do it.
You're quarantined for 6 months, not just 2.
No, but hey, but for real, man, thanks for coming on there with us, man, in the state that you were in, being able to make it in and talk to us, man. We really appreciate it. Thanks. And it's people like you who make the show better, to be honest. So with that concludes this webcast for today, the Breath of Fresh Air webcast. Y'all make sure y'all go to the Breath of Fresh Air YouTube channel, smash that subscribe button, and keep the likes coming on the Breath of Fresh Air Facebook page. So hopefully we get another shorty in there. All right, Patrick, I forgot. I'm supposed to not ask you about that because everything is good. So
when you don't ask, I get one in.
All right, man. So I'll stay quiet then. With that, we'll roll it out, and everybody have a good rest of the week. Take care.